Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of What's in My Studio. It's been like 5 months, I think, since I've done one of these videos, so it's been a minute. But what I wanted to do today is jump back into it with another set of videos. I've got this one today. I'll have a few more in the next week or so coming out about some new gear that I've been putting in since I last talked to you. So today, what I wanted to focus on is this really cool piece of tech that I got. I've been eyeballing it for a while now. I'll show you here in just a second. One of the things I have struggled with in using software like Ecamm Live is the software is great, but part of the challenge with the software is there's a lot of shortcut keys you have to work with to navigate between your different scenes. If you haven't used it, or any of these tools like OBS, vmix, or whatever else, one of the things you'll know is that scenes are super helpful in letting you organize your thoughts and organize your show flow into a really methodical layout, so you can get really, really detailed to make sure that your show, be it a live stream, recorded video, whatever it happens to be, flows the way you want it to, and you can plan it out and be really detailed about it. But the challenge can be is that if you're trying to use shortcut keys on your keyboard, like this or whatever, that can be loud. You have to remember which one is which and not hit the wrong one. Or worse off, you have to use a mouse or your touchpad to kind of navigate and click each scene to navigate. And in that case, you have to look at the screen like off to the side like I'm doing right now, and it kind of messes things up a little bit for your audience watching. And so Stream Deck, or actually I should say Elgato, who makes it right here, this is the Stream Deck by Elgato. This is the smallest one they make. This is a 15 key Stream Deck. I think it's just called the Stream Deck. There's a 15 key, which is called the, I don't know, the 32 key. There might even be a smaller one, but I picked up this one here really recently. See if I can get any closer for you. There you go. So it shows you a bunch of different keys. What this lets you do is program using some software that I'll show you in just a minute, natively in tools like Ecamm, your different scenes. And what you can do then is switch between them by a simple click of the button. And the rad part about this thing is, one of the many rad parts is, each of these little buttons is an LED screen. So when you program it in the software that I'll show you, what's really cool is that it can reflect either the image that is coming through Ecamm in my case, or you can customize a button. Now, some of these you can see have different colors, and it's kind of hard to make out these green ones because they just wash out, but there's a red one here, and there's a couple down here that have different shapes on them. And what's cool is you can download from their website custom shapes. You can bring in your own images, whatever you want, just something that makes it easy for you to look at. But more importantly is it's touch. You can remember the order you place things on, so that when you're working through your scenes, you don't have to look off to the side. You can just have this, like I do. They have a neat little stand. So I've got mine kind of on my desk over here. And you can just click through, and I'll show you how that works. So for example, here I am on my main camera right now. What I could do is say, hey, I'm going to bring in a guest, and now I have a second camera. Now, you'd imagine in an interview, I would have a guest as a secondary camera coming in through Ecamm, but in this case, it's my Logitech web camera over here. But the really cool part about that is I can have a separate scene set up that in this case, I call it like two-person interview. And when I click the button on my touchpad or on the Stream Deck, so here's this first button, because you imagine this is left to right. It's backwards on the camera, but this is my first button. That goes back to my main cam, as you're seeing here. This is my me plus a guest, so I can push that. So when I do my at-home video series on YouTube, I can quickly navigate between myself when I'm doing the intro and the outro. I can also navigate to my guest when I first bring that person on, and we're talking, and my guest is presenting. And then last, in that case, what I have is a button for myself, a button for the two of us, and then a button for just my guest. So I can navigate back and forth between that. It makes it really useful. I don't have to touch my keyboard. I can move these things off to the side and just click this. I even have a button on mine. In this case, it says finish. So if I hit that button right now, it would end this recording. But you can make that button say go live. You can have that button say record. It's just a word that you put on the screen. So let me show you, and I have another one that I added for the sake of this video to show you. It's hard to read for you, but for me, this button right here says PIP, or picture in picture. So I'm going to show that to you right now so that I can do a screen share with my picture in picture. So I'll hit that button, and what you should see here in a moment is my shared screen. There we go. It took a moment for the share to come through. But what you should see is me here on camera in a little bubble, right here in this little circle, and then what I'm showing you is the software that comes with the Stream Deck. So this is, for mine, this happens to be the 15 key, and you can see how mine is laid out. in this case, it's the main camera, and then I have the me plus guest, just like I was describing to you. Now, this isn't meant to be a how-to video on how to configure this. What I just wanted to demonstrate is you don't need tools like this. You don't have to have tools like this in order to make good content, but something like this really does help with your show flow. As you're doing more of this and you get into a rhythm, it becomes really nice to have automation tools. I'm big into automation and automating, simplifying those processes, turning them into habits so that you don't have to think about it anymore. You just do. With a little bit of prep work, and as my son and my wife would joke around when they're playing Legend of Zelda, got to set each other up for success when you go into a dungeon. This is the same thing. This is a tool that helps you set yourself up for success when you're creating content, because you can simplify or create a habit out of the steps that you need to take, so you don't have to remember it. You just flow and do. And the less friction you can have in that process to create content, the better off you're going to be, the more likely you are to do it more often. So that's the Stream Deck. I love this tool. It's by Elgato. I'll put some links down below in the video on how you can find their website, where you can buy it, etc. In my case, like I said, I went with the 15 key because that's really all I needed. But there is a 32 key, and I think there's even a smaller one. I don't remember exactly, but they have a lot of options, plus a lot of other technology you can use for your studio. I just happen to love this size. Has been perfect for what I'm doing today. At some point, I might upgrade, but right now, this is great. One last thing I'll show you. In amongst the other tools you can do here, there's a lot of options you can put under these buttons. All kinds of customizations. One of my favorites so far has been, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little folder icon down here that says Star Wars. That's for an upcoming live stream I've got coming soon. But the cool part about that button is when you click on it, you get a whole new set of buttons here. What I just did, and Elgato lets you do this in the software, is you can create a folder on the home page. Since I only have 15 keys, I clearly can't have multiple shows and show flows on their own buttons on one main panel. So what they give you the ability to do is have these folders. Now there's a button when you do that appears on the next screen that has an arrow key. When you push that, it takes you right back to the previous screen. So what this lets me do is embed folders on the main homepage for a variety of different shows. So if I'd like to, I can have scenes and folders of scenes within Ecamm, if you've seen that before. And each of those folders could be a different show. My at-home show, my upcoming Star Wars Live, this What's in My Studio show, etc. And if I want to, rather than remapping them on the Stream Deck every single time, which can be tedious, it's very tedious, instead what I can do is have a folder on the Stream Deck, maybe folders lining the bottom here, whatever you prefer, and each folder can map to a different set of keys in the Stream Deck software. So anytime I'm doing a no show, all I need to do is sit down and say, okay, I'm going to do the Star Wars show. Click that button. Great. There's all my keys already laid out to do all the scenes I need for my next show. I don't have to think about it. It's pre-created. And the good news is, if I want to prep for upcoming shows by making some changes, I make changes in my Ecamm software. And if I need to add a new button or whatever, or customize a button, as long as I'm changing something that already exists, that change will just get reflected into the Stream Deck, because it's just it's a hotkey essentially mapping to Ecamm in my case. But if I need to create something new, I just drag into the software from the menu, run scene, change cameras, whatever choice I want, map it to the scene within Ecamm by a simple click, and I'm done. So like I said, this is not meant to be a how-to video. There's a lot of those out there on how to actually customize and set up your Stream Deck, so definitely go look for those. What I wanted to call out here is that this is an immensely helpful piece of technology in your studio. Even this small one like I've got, it's so helpful in simplifying and really in automating away the things you're going to do repetitively, so you don't have to think about them so much, because the point of all this is to create content, to make a video and get yourself out there. The less friction involved in doing that, the better off you're going to be. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's anything else I can help you with, or you have other ideas, definitely post them in the comments below. But that's something I'd love to hear from you. If you have a comment, some feedback, a question about the technology, post it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Part of this is having this community and having this dialogue. It's really exciting for me, and I really enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to get be part of the channel, and hit the little bell, little ding ding bell icon if you want to get notified of upcoming videos. I'll be releasing more videos on a regular basis, including more of these What's in My Studio videos, because I did add a fair amount of technology in the last 5 months that I'm super happy about, and I'll share it with all of you. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon.